Hey guys, welcome back. You are looking at the next project. We are going to be doing this star dishcloth, and you can find the pattern on yarnspirations.com. You will be using 3 different types of cotton, or 3 different colors, and this being 4th of July coming up soon, you will be using red, white, and blue. It does call for a H or 5mm hook, and I did use an I, which is a 5.5. You can use whatever you like, but it will change the size of it just a little bit. So pull up that pattern on yarnspirations.com, and I will have the link available here in the description box below, and we will get started on this beautiful dishcloth. Alright, so let's get started here on our stripy star dishcloth. So let's chain up 4, and then we're going to join in the first chain to form that center ring. Now for round 4, you want to chain up 3, and this is going to count as a double crochet. So now you want to put 9 into that center ring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9, and with that chain 3 you have a total of 10 doubles. So now you just join into the top there of the beginning chain 3. Now what you want to do for round 2 is chain up 2. That counts as a half double, and now in the same stitch you're going to put another half double, a chain 2, and 2 more half doubles into the same stitch. We're going to start forming the actual points on the star. Okay, so now what you're going to do, you're going to miss the next double, which is right here, and then you're going to do that same process. 2 half doubles in that next one after you've skipped one, chain 2, and 2 more in the same stitch. Skip the next one and work 2 half doubles, chain 2, and 2 more right in the same stitch. Skip the next one and work that same configuration of stitches. Okay, skip the next one and work it in the next stitch. Okay, so you should have a total of 5 points on your star. Okay, so now what you want to do here is you want to insert your hook in the top of that chain 2, but you're not pulling through. You're going to finish off here, and now we're going to add our white here. So just make your slip knot, add your white, and I'll be back with you for the next round. Right, now that we have joined our second color, you need to slip stitch into the top of that next half double crochet. And now what you want to do is chain 2, and now you're going to, that's actually going to count as a half double, and now you're going to do 2 half doubles into this point, the next point, chain 2, and 2 more in the same point. Okay, scooch that over a bit so you don't miss the stitch, and now you're going to half double crochet into this next half double crochet, and the stitch is right there. It's really hidden, so you have to watch your stitches when you're making the stars. Now you're going to skip the next two and half double crochet into the next half double crochet, okay, which is right there. Now you're going to go to the next point and do 2 half doubles, chain 2, and 2 half doubles. And you're going to do this around. So make sure you're scooching that stitch over so you don't lose that one stitch. So now you're going to half double crochet in the next stitch, skip 2, and half double crochet in that next stitch. And that'll bring you to your point. So you'll do your 2 half doubles, chain 2, and 2 half doubles. Okay, scooch it over and find that stitch. So half double in this next stitch, skip 2, half double in the next, and half double 2 times in this next point, chain 2, and 2 more half doubles in the same point. Scooch that over and find your stitch. So half double in that next stitch, skip 2, half double in the next, and you're on your last point, so do your 2 half doubles, chain 2, and 2 more in the point. And now you're going to do your next half double crochet in the next stitch, miss the last 2, and now you're going to join into the top of this chain 2, but you're going to join with the third color, which is blue. So go ahead and cut that off, add your blue, and I'll be right back to join you. So now we are joined here with our blue, our third color. So now what we're going to do is slip stitch in the next half double crochet here. And now we are going to do a chain 2, and that's going to be a half double crochet here. And now you're going to half double crochet in the next double crochet, and that's going to bring you to your first point. So that's where we're going to start our clusters again. So you're going to half double crochet twice in the point, chain 2, and half double crochet 2 times again in the same point. Okay, now you're going to scooch this over. You'll have to do that each round, and you're going to half double crochet in the next stitch, and now in the next one as well. So each round you're going to notice it's like increasing. Each round that you go up, there's going to be an additional stitch on each side of the points. So as increasing like you do in rounds, it's just like that. You're going to have an additional single stitch on each side of your point. Okay, so now basically you're going to skip the next 2 stitches. Okay, so 1, 2, and then you're going to half double crochet in the next 2. So 1 and 2. So you skip those 2 there. You're going to half double crochet in the next 2. That brings you to the next point. So do your 2 half doubles, chain 2, and 2 half doubles. Okay, now you scooch that over a bit. Now you're going to do your 2 half doubles, and 1 in each of the next 2 stitches. You're going to skip the next 2, and then you're going to do 1 in each of the next 2. Now you'll be back up to your point, so 2 half doubles here, chain 2, and 2 more half doubles. Alright, so slide that. So half double crochet in the next 2, skip 2, and then half double crochet in 2. Okay, now you're up to your next point, so half double crochet 2 times, chain 2, and 2 half doubles. Alright, so now half double in the next 2, skip 2, and half double in the next 2. Now you're up to your last point, so half double 2 times, chain up 2, and half double 2 times. Now you want to make sure and get your last 2 half doubles in. So 1 and 2. Now you're going to put your hook in the second chain from that first 2 that we did. Okay? And you're going to be adding back your actual white this time. So go ahead and finish this blue off, add back your white, and I'll be right back with you. Row 5, we've added back our white. So now you're going to slip stitch in the next half double crochet. Now you're going to chain up 2, so that's going to be considered our first half double crochet. Now you're going to notice you've got 2 empty spaces here, so you're going to half double crochet in the next one and in the next one. So now you have 3 before your point. Okay, where the row before you had 2, and the row before you had 1. So now you're going to go into the point for our configuration of 2 half doubles, chain 2, and 2 half doubles. Okay, now you're going to do a half double in the next, one in the next. So as you have 3 single stitches over here, 3 half double crochet here before the point, now you also have to have 3 on this side of the point. So now you have 3 half doubles here. You're going to skip 2 here. Now you're going to be going up the other side. So now working up to this point, you got to have 3 half doubles going up the side of this one as well. So 1, 2, 3. Now you're at your point. So do your configuration. Now you're going to have to work down this side of the point. So now you're going to put 3 half doubles in a row. 1, 2, 3. So you have to keep everything even. That's the point of doing these stars. And whether you're doing the dishcloth or whether you're doing the Afghan, the big star Afghan, I've done one, it was a queen size. Whether you're doing that or this, it's all the same process. So no matter how big you want to make this project, you can use this same concept to do the Afghan with. You just keep going and going and going and going with the number counts. But just understand that each side of your points, once you get to your point, you do your configuration count here, but then each side has to be even in order to keep those points. So if you have 3 single double crochet here, not single crochet, but single stitches. So if you have 3 half double crochet on this side of your point, you also need to have the same amount on this side of the point, and it needs to be equal for the entire round. So this round, if we have 3 half double crochet on each side, the next round needs to be 4, then the next round needs to be 5. All you're doing is increasing, and it works the same way with an afghan. So you can just keep building and building and building on this pattern to build an afghan. It's the same thing. So you're going to skip 2. Now you're going to do 3 in a row, your half double crochet. And by now you know the stitches we're using. I don't have to keep saying that. So you're going to do your configuration here now in the point. Okay. Now you scooch that over, and now you are going to do 3 on this side. Okay, now you're going to skip 2. Now you're going up the side of this point, so you want to have 3 double crochet going up this side. Now you're back at your point. So work your configuration here. But just be careful. And I will say, because I know I'll probably get a couple questions, if your stitch counts are not correct, and if you're not scooching this point over and getting that stitch that's hid, your stitch counts will be a mess. When I first learned to do the star, it took me a long time to understand. Of course, I was also trying to tackle this project when I was still beginning, so it was very confusing. So you're going to skip 2 here, and now start going up the other side here for this next point. But you do need to make sure, because stitch counts are very, very crucial when you're doing the star pattern. So whenever you start this project, understand that if it's not forming correctly and your points are not staying pointy, or you're just not coming to terms with the shape, then your stitch count, it's because you're not doing the stitches here where they're getting hid. You need to make sure you're scooching your stitches over and getting that last stitch. Because some patterns are very forgiving, this one is not. You have to make sure you're digging that stitch out of there. Alright, so now we're at the end again, so you want to put your hook into that top of the chain 2. You want to fasten off, and that was row 5. So now for round 6, you're going to join back A, which is your red, and I'll meet you up for that next round. Alright, round 6, we are starting back with our A color, which is red. So now always keep in mind you're going to slip stitch to that first double crochet and then chain 2, which is always going to be considered your first half double in this pattern. Now the previous round we had 3 double crochet on their own. Now this round, if you did your counts correctly, you will have 4. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, now you will do your point, which is your 2 doubles, or 2 half doubles, sorry. Chain 2 and 2 more half doubles. Now you'll pull that over, get into that stitch. So now you should have 4 half doubles going down this side. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you should be able to skip 2 here, and now you should go up the side here and have 4 half doubles in a row. So 2, 3, 4, and that's perfect. So now you're going to go to your next peak and work your configuration. Okay. Pull that over, and do your first half double there, 2, 3, 4. Skip 2. Then you should do 4 in a row here. Alright. Now you're at your next peak, so work your configuration of 2 half double crochet, chain 2, and half double crochet. Pull that over and work your 4 half doubles in a row. Skip 2 and 4 in a row. Okay, your next peak, so work your configuration again here. Pull that over, and I can't stress how important that is. So do your 4 half doubles in a row here. Skip 2. And each row will take you a little bit longer to do because there's always going to be extra stitches. Alright, now do your last peak. And in between each color, meaning red and blue, you will have a strand or row of white. So after red, do a row of white. After blue, do a row of white. If you do, you know, an afghan, you have 50 colors, make sure you do a strand. Well, you don't have to, but all I'm saying is having a contrasting more solid base color really makes this pattern pop. Okay, so now you're doing your last 4 here. Okay, let me make sure that I got my stitch in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now you're going to join up in that second stitch, cut that off, and you're going to join back white, and I will be back with you as soon as I get mine joined up. Okay, so now basically this is the star pattern. If you want to continue and go bigger, the interesting thing about this pattern is you can make it as big or as small as you would like to make it. The pattern is very versatile. You can do a lot with this. You can make smaller ones. You can join them together to make a shawl, a wrap, a scarf. You know, you can make one gigantic afghan, like I said, which is what I did. And I do have that displayed on my channel here. I entered that a couple years ago in our state fair, and it actually won first place. It was so awesome, and I was so proud of that afghan. But it makes a beautiful, beautiful afghan. But they're all over the internet. But this pattern, if you choose to go with it and do an afghan out of this pattern, like I said, you just keep building it as you see we've done here. You will just end up with more and more stitches through here. Nothing's going to change. The only thing that you will do different is once you are complete with the pattern, you just add your border or whatever you want to do, and you do your color changes as you see fit. But as you've seen where we change color, that's where you do your color change. Other than that, there's nothing more to do to it. I could keep going around and around and showing you the same technique, but other than that, you know, we had our 4 half doubles here. Well, now for this round you would just have 5. So basically you get the pattern, and this here was a tutorial for a dishcloth. You can make the dishcloth as big as you would like it. And again, this is a very, very unique pattern. They are fun to do, but I can't stress to you enough to pay very close attention to your stitch count on this pattern. It will cause you a lot of problems if you do not take the time and locate those proper stitches. So please do that. Otherwise, if you get through several rows of this is one pattern that you will have to frog, because you cannot just make it work. You will have to fix that, because the points will not form. And you see it has a very defined shape to it, so in order to get that shape you have to have your stitches done correctly. So for those of you that want to continue and make this dishcloth any bigger, or if you want to make this into an afghan, I will show you. You will now go with this white and you will slip stitch. You will always slip stitch, and you can do it in half double crochet, you can do it in double crochet, it's whatever you prefer to do. So you'll chain 2, and now on the previous row we had 4 half double crochet, you will now have 5. So 1, actually you've got 2, counting that chain 2, so there's 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you've gone up the right side of the peak, so now you're going to do your configuration of 2 half doubles, chain 2, 2 half doubles, all in the peak. Okay, here's, like I said, you've got to make sure and find that stitch. It's right there. So now you're going to go down the left side of this peak for 5 half doubles, because you want to make these sides even. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you're always going to skip these center 2. Now you're going to work back up the right side of this next peak. So you're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now you're at your peak, so you're just going to work that configuration again. And like I said, it's not going to be any different. You're just going to keep right on going. And make it as big or as small as you like, but always make sure to search for this stitch. Okay? So that's going to be it for this tutorial. I hope I helped you guys understand how to work the star pattern. And I hope to see some beautiful projects out of this. So until next video, guys, happy hooking!